boys and girls, students of Buddhist Sunday School, parents, grandparents, and teachers of Buddhist Sunday School and Dhamma classes. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. We are going to have a presentation of a moral story that has many benefits, especially for the young ones. So this presentation is actually dedicated to the young ones, but parents, grandparents, and teachers also would like to view these presentations so that they can also present the story to the little ones. Now, this story has the text in English and Malay, but the narration with the explanation will be done completely in English. So we will use the English text to go over the story, and then at the end, very important, we are going to discuss the life lessons or moral lessons or Dharma messages that we can learn, right? So that is the presentation we are going to do for this particular lesson. Now, as usual, we will launch the PowerPoint, right? As you can see, the first slide already. So the slideshow, we start from the beginning. Now you see a very colorful, right? Now let me take off my video. Okay. So now you can see that this is the cover slide, and it shows actually a fisherman, and the other main character is the fish, of course, because the title of this presentation is The Clever Fish, and it is actually a children's story with very good life lessons. In Malay, it's called Ikan Cerdik, kisah kanak-kanak dengan pengajaran kehidupan. Right? So let us now go to the start of the story. I will read the story and explain and comment. And then at the end, we will go over the life lessons. So now let us go on to slide number 2. Right? So the story starts like this, that one day there was a fisherman who went to the river to fish. Right? So it was his routine work to go to the river to catch fish. Perhaps this was his livelihood. So he would use a net. And as usual, at the river bank, or, the picture shows that, he was sitting on a rock. Maybe it was a very small river or something like that. He sat there waiting patiently for his catch because he had thrown the net. Of course, those some fish using the fishing hooks, but of course he is using the net. So he sat waiting patiently for his catch, and he was thinking and hoping to catch a lot of fish, and then he could sell the fish in the market and earn some good money from the sale of the fish. So that was his wish, his hope, to be able to get a good catch. That means many fishes in the net. So he waited. You need to be very patient if you go fishing. So let us see what happens. Now you can see the picture of this fisherman going to the river, and then at the river bank he threw in the net, and then he sat on a rock near the bank of the river. It was probably a small river, perhaps, and he was waiting, waiting to see whether there was any sign of any fish tugging at the net. So you will know lah, there's something inside the net already. So you will haul up the net and then to check how many fishes were trapped in the net, right? So that is what is happening. Now let us go on to slide number 3. Now, after some time, this fisherman felt that there was something pulling or tugging at the net below the water surface, right? Because the net was thrown into the river so that, it will sink below the surface. Probably, you might have put some weights or some baits to attract the fish. Now, thinking that there would probably be a lot of fish in the net, because he felt some movements already inside the net. So he was thinking, probably there might be maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 fish in the net. So he started to pull the net out of the water in the river. So he was in for something unexpected. So now, I don't think you have heard this story. So, what do you think it would be? What would it be? Is it a genie in a bottle to grant him the wishes? Some time ago, a long time ago, I think I posted one story called The Fisherman and the Genie. Right? So, he got a bottle trapped in his fishing net. So, would it be like this? And then he took out, that was the old story lah. Right? The fisherman took out the bottle, stuck in the fishing net, and then very curious, he opened up the bottle, and very exciting, out shot a genie, right? And I won't tell you the rest of the story lah, right? This genie very fierce, a big energetic force, So now, do you think it was a bottle with a genie inside, a jinn? So let us see what happens next. So we are going to go to slide number 4. So when he looked at inside the net, to his surprise and disappointment, the fisherman found that there was only one tiny little fish caught in the net. So it was not a bottle with the genie trapped inside, and there were not many. In fact, there was only one fish. He thought maybe it would be maybe 3, 4, 5 lah, but it was only one fish, a little fish. Now you can see these are just pictures to help you to understand better and to make it more interesting lah, with some pictures. So you can see the little fish there, reddish in red in color one, something like a goldfish, but it's not a goldfish. So these these fishes they are caught to be killed and cooked, right? Cooked. So that is this thing lah. So he was very surprised. He felt very upset and let down lah, because he was expecting to have many fishes inside the net, but there was only this little fish trapped in the net. And he felt very upset and let down, right? Kecewa, you can say, kecewa. He was not puas-hati at all, right? But then something happened. What happened? The little fish suddenly started to talk to the fisherman. Of course, this is a story. I think you have heard of many stories where the animals could talk, just like the Jataka stories, right? Sang Kancil stories, Aesop's fables. Those are stories. But the important thing about the stories is this: the moral message, the lessons you can learn. Some people ask, is it true? Usually, of course, we will tell them that it's not true. Animals don't talk, you see, right? Unless you are in a fantasy land. But anyway, These are good teaching stories where you can learn good moral lessons. So what did the little fish say to the fisherman? The fish was very frightened, being trapped in the net, isn't it? So the fish pleaded to the fisherman, because if nothing was done to release this fish, he would die. She would die. I think it's a female fish. Oh, fisherman, please release me. Please, please let me go. Wow. This man was quite surprised to hear this little fish speaking to him. So he was very, very surprised, but he didn't know what to do. You see? So you can see the picture there. On one hand, you have the fisherman lifting up the net that contained the little fish inside, and then the fish speaking to the man. So now, what would happen? What would happen now? Now, let us go on to slide number 5. Slide number 5 now. However, the fisherman did not pay attention to the plea of the poor fish. Actually, he was just thinking of fishes to take back to cook or to go to the market to sell and get some money. So he was quite surprised, but he did not really pay attention to what the fish was trying to tell him, right? Maybe he understood a little bit, but he also was hesitating, It seemed he did not want to grant the request of the fish to be released back into the water. So, I mean, that would be the usual thing. You catch something, then you wouldn't want to release the thing back. After that, he would probably, what he would do, that's what he would be thinking, would be to take the fish out and put it into a container. Then after that, cast the net into the water again to catch more fish again, isn't it? Why should I release this, isn't it? Most people would think like this. Even though this was a very interesting case where the fish appealed to him, right? So now the poor little fish, seeing the man hesitating to free this fish, to free her, I think it's a female fish. To free her, so the little fish was really desperate already. Was very scared. She was very scared because it would be terrible to be caught and then killed. Eventually will be killed, isn't it? So you'll be sold in the market together with other fishes you might catch later, and then people will buy the fish, go back, then they will kill the fish to eat. Right? Of course, there are cases where fish are reared as pets, but in this case, the fisherman, his job was to catch the fish and sell the fish. People go to the market to buy the fish, and then the fish will be killed. So it's terrible, isn't it? So it's not good to be reborn as a fish, suffering, So then the fish said to the fisherman certain things very interesting, you see, because this fish was attempting to appeal again, to the fisherman to be free, to ask the fisherman to let her go back to her home. So the fish said something to the fisherman. So what do you think the fish said to the fisherman? And this will be shown in the next slide, right? Now here, of course, we just show some pictures and the fish are so sad, like this. It's just a cartoon fish to show that it's crying. It was very scared. Imagine if you are caught. Just as, when, hunters go and hunt, or hunt animals in the forest or jungle, the animals will be very, very scared, So imagine if the mother wild boar or mother squirrel or whatever is being hunted and killed and caught and then will be killed. Of course, the baby soul will be very, very sad, isn't it? So Well, probably this fish also had a family lah, further away from this part of the river lah. So now let's see what is next now by going to slide number 6. Fisherman, he called to the fisherman. I have something for you. I have something to tell you, which would be a huge help, a big help to you. So you see, I want to tell you something, which would be a big help to you. In bahasa Malaysia, be the lion. Saya akan memberitahu Anda sesuatu yang akan membantu Anda. So, what did she want to say? So the fisherman got very curious lah. Human beings are by nature curious, isn't it? You'll be wondering what is to come. So the fisherman got very curious. So he hesitated, and then he asked the fish, "What is it that you have to tell me? You better give me a good answer. Otherwise, you will end up in my frying pan." In other words, he was warning the fish, poor fish, that you better give me a good answer. What you want to tell me? Otherwise, I will put you in the frying pan to fry, and it will be for my dinner. Something like that, right? Something like that. Now you could see the picture to tell you right, what the man was thinking. It's terrible, isn't it? To be fried like that. So the fish said, "If you let me go back into the water, I will do this. You will be most happy." She didn't tell directly, still created the suspense, right? So the fisherman was getting impatient already, So he said, "Let me go back in the water. I will do something. You'll be most happy one. You won't regret it." The little fish told the fisherman this thing here. So what would happen then? Did the fish die? Or could the fish escape? And what would happen to the fisherman? So these are the things to come. So let us now move on to the next slide. I suppose it must be a very shallow river, but of course it was not far into the middle of the river. It was near the bank. So anyway, you understand with the picture there. The fish was telling, "I will do this." Then next slide. So the fisherman was growing or getting impatient already, right? There's a semakin tidak sabar. Then, he commanded the fish, "Quick, tell me. Cepat, beritahu saya." So then the little fish continued what she wanted to tell the fisherman. "If I am released back into the water, I will immediately swim back to find my many friends. I have many friends. I will tell them all about you, how you fed me with some most delicious food. I will persuade them to come to this spot. I will guide them here." So that was what the fish, actually she had a plan already. She had a plan to escape, right? She was using her brains. Even fish have brains. Sometimes, of course, it's a story lah. But some humans cannot think. Maybe some dogs can think better, isn't it? So the fish told this man that you release me, then I will immediately swim back to find my many friends in the other part of the river. Right. Then you know what I will tell them? I will tell them all about you lah. You being such a very kind man. She gave a lot of praises lah. And how you gave me some very delicious food to eat. Of course, she did not tell the truth lah, because she had to think of a way to escape, isn't it? Right. So I will persuade them to come to this spot. And I will guide them here, because they wouldn't know the place. So would the fisherman agree to her request to release her, or would the fisherman suspect that she is tricking him and would not actually come back with the friends? Maybe such thoughts are, but I think very likely the fisherman was very interested in what she was saying. So let us go on to the next slide, which is number 8. All right. So the little fish continue, So the next time you come back, maybe tomorrow, and you come back to the same spot, then you will find many fishes all around here, because I have told them about you, and I will lead them here. Wow, the fisherman was very interested in him when he heard this. When he heard this, so he thought to himself, "Wow, that would be great. Today, only one tiny little fish. Tomorrow, I will get a lot of fish." So, he was thinking like this, because he was thinking, this little fish will go back and lead the rest to the spot. He was thinking like this in his mind, and then he will be able to catch in the net to trap all of them. You could see what he was thinking. Net with so many fishes inside already. That was the thing that went through his mind. Today, so far only one fish. Tomorrow, one shot. So many fishes. So he was very, very keen to follow what the little fish said lah. Esok saya akan dapat banyak ikan. Hari ini hanya seekor ikan yang amat kecil. So let us go on to slide number 9 now. Now, of course, the little fish did not intend to tell to lie, to the friends, isn't it? He would not. You see, he was very dedicated. He would never betray his friends, right? So he would not, tell the lies to the friends, but he would tell it to the fisherman probably. So he say he would. So you see that this fisher would never betray his friends and let them be caught and be killed by the fisherman. I think in this case here, you see, it should be a male fish already. Now mind So of course, he would protect. This little fish would protect the friends, isn't it? Right? So he would not let the friends all be caught and then be killed already eventually, isn't it? So, of course, he did not lead the friends to the fisherman. So when the fisherman came back the following day, he was expecting, to catch a lot of fish. You could see he was going towards the bank already, right? The bank of the river, to have a look and see. Maybe you could see through the water. So many fish swimming below the surface. But then not a single fish, right? He was expecting to catch a lot of fish, but he could not even see a single fish. This naive means very simple-minded could believe things so easily. That's the meaning of naive. So this naive fisherman then realized, then only he realized he had been tricked by this clever little fish. So that day itself, actually, he could not catch any fish. So he went home feeling very miserable, sad and disappointed. There's a spelling mistake. It should be sad and D-I-S, disappointed. So you could see, in the end, the clever little fish outwitted the fisherman. And because of that, the fish did not lose his life lah. So now that is actually a very simple story lah. Very simple story. But what is important is this: the lessons we are going to discuss, right? As you can see here. So now let us go on to number 10. Right? It's a short presentation, this one. There are some, I put down 3 lessons actually here. Life lessons, you can say moral lessons, or you can say Dharma teachings. And pelajaran hidup untuk dipelajari. Because from these lessons, we will become more wise. We can grow in our thinking. We become more matured. And when we face with problems in our lives, when we are older, all the while there will be problems. So now you have learned so many good life lessons, then you can solve the problems better, you can think better. Whereas in schools, usually they teach you the academic subjects to score the A's, like mathematics or science or geography, to remember history, to memorize all those things. So there's a lack of the thinking skills. So here we try to convey to you thinking skills as well as good life lessons. So now let us look at the first of the 3. Do not be greedy. This story actually is a bit connected to this lesson. Actually, the fisherman was greedy for more and more. Actually, most people will be like that, right? So greedy ones can easily be tricked or dangerously cheated. And this is what is happening today in the world. It involves not only the young ones, also the professional people, the lawyers, accountants, businessmen, retired teachers. They already have so many thousands of dollars. They have a lot of money. I read one retired teacher got cheated, right? Scammer, cheated basically, right? And then transfer the money to all those con men or the scammers, because greedy for more money, basically. Already, wow, one teacher, I read, lost don't know how many $1 million. Wow. That's why I read. $1 million, and the person has become quite old already, actually 70 or 80 already. So what more do you want actually? You can actually do some charity with the money, and then also you can maybe, of course, you can use some money and enjoy yourself, going to travel to visit different parts of the world, apart from the charity lah. But one thing more. So in the end, lost nearly all the savings, got cheated already. So you find if you are greedy, sometimes we do very foolish things. And then also you find greedy people, sometimes they fall into the traps of committing crime and all. They cheat, and then they even kill. As you know, people have been killed by bad people, and these bad people, because they want to have more and more. Of course, sometimes they steal because some thieves steal because they have no money lah. But that actually is not an excuse. I have no money, therefore I go and steal. You should find ways, good moral ways. You can work even if it's a simple job, right? So, but then today you find more and more criminal actions are being committed. It's terrible, isn't it? So from here you can see that greed is a terrible defilement of the mind. There are 3 big devils, not really devils, but actually they are the bad things that are in your mind. One is greed, the first one. The second one is hatred, anger. And the third one is delusion or ignorance, not knowing the true things as they are. So now we are looking at this first one, which is very, very terrible, right? Greedy. So you read the papers, even some teenagers, right? So nowadays on Facebook or newspapers and TikTok and whatnot, so you have the advertisements telling them that, there are jobs in Laos lah, or Cambodia lah, or Burma, Myanmar, all these places, wow, 1 month you can get a lot of money, and it's a simple job. So these people not contented with the simple, honest job they are doing now, which doesn't give them that much money, but because of the greed for more and more, right? So not careful already, right? You have the greed so you forget about the danger of being cheated, and that was what happened. So many, got caught by the bad hats in the syndicate to make them do the criminal action, scam people, cheat people, and so on. So we must be careful. So jangan tamak. If you are greedy, you can be easily tricked. Like for example, sometimes I ask the Sunday school children, I say one stranger, somebody approach you maybe in the recess, find you around in one area, isolated, they say, oh, little girl, right? I can buy this a lot of ice cream for you, a lot of chocolates also, right? So you follow me, I'll take you to the supermarket. But so this child very greedy for all those things, so cannot think clearly, and then they follow, isn't it? So I ask them, and then some of them say, yes, we want. But others very careful. They, no, don't be greedy, because you can be cheated, tricked. Yeah, I say, these bears can bring you and sell you off in another country. So be careful, dangerously. And then some have been killed also. And then some children, caught abducted, and then these bad people, they operate and take off your kidney, one of your kidneys on the cell, And nowadays, today, in the world, you have many, many horrible people who commit immoral actions, cruel actions. So you have to be very careful. So remember this first important lesson: do not be greedy. Learn to be contented. I posted many stories about this, the danger of being greedy. Remember, there was one story I posted where this lady, this woman with maybe some children or what, so she got a golden chicken or goose, right? And this golden chicken or goose would lay one egg every day, and it was either golden egg or silver egg. I think it was a silver egg. Wow, special. This one, of course, is a fairy tale. So very good, isn't it? So every day to lay, the chicken could lay one precious egg. Some versions would say it's a golden egg, some would say it's a silver egg. So the ladies could get all these eggs and then sell them in the town and so on and get a lot of money. But she was greedy for more, right? You know what she did? She did stupid things, stupid thing. She forced the chicken to eat more and more so that the chicken could produce more eggs. There was one version like this, right? And then the chicken died because the lady forced the food into the chicken and got stuck in the neck, on the throat, in the throat, and died. So in the end, and then there was another version where it was a goose, where this lady cut the goose open to find more golden eggs in the stomach. So a lot of all these stories that tell you the danger of being greedy. You do foolish things and you regret. So there's this first lesson. Now let us go on to the second one. Clever, creative, and wise thinking can help a person out of a dangerous situation. So you see now you can relate this to the story. The fish was caught, right? But it was a clever fish. So if he did not think in an intelligent way, a wise way, he would be killed. Couldn't escape. So he had to tell a lie lah, actually. He had to tell a lie. So you can see from here that it's very important to learn how to think creatively, intelligently. And learning Dharma is good because it improves your thinking skill, right? A lot of very good things are taught in the Dharma so that you can think and not just be gullible and believe people easily. So I posted a number of stories where also I think in either Jataka stories or Sankanchu stories where some animals are very, very smart. I remember there was this monkey, monkey that could escape from the crocodile in a very intelligent way. You can check back. There are many, many stories that show very smart thinking. So, because sometimes, you have a situation and you find it's dangerous. You cannot get out. For example, maybe you find that, wow, fire is starting in one part of your house. What should you do? Really? Or maybe you find a snake coming in. Or maybe there is a flood that's going to start. So you need to have clever, creative, and wise thinking so that you can minimize the effects of the terrible happening. So you see how important it is. So in this case here, you could see that the fish, right, using the thinking skill, outwitted the fisherman. She told he probably the male fish. I thought it was a female fish. Anyway, he told the fisherman that he would bring the friends, and then he could convince. The fish knew how to praise the man, saying that actually was lying. But then if he did not do this, he would die. You see, right? So sometimes you find you are in this situation, you have to think cleverly. Right? But actually lying is a break of the precept. But in this case, that particular animal has to save his life. Right? So under certain circumstances, you have no choice. Right? You have to escape. Life is very important, isn't it? So he was there. So actually, there was this case of a monk even, right? So he saw one victim he was running away from a group of terrible people who wanted to catch him and kill him, So he ran past the monk and ran into the cave, right? To hide. So then the bad man came, or not bad man, the evil people, or maybe they are violent, wanted to find. So when they saw this monk, they asked the monk, did you see one man running? We want to catch him, I want to kill him, all this. So if the man, if the monk were to tell the truth and say, yeah, he went into the cave, so that man would die, isn't it? So the monk got to lie, see, for a good cause, because wanted to save the life. So sometimes you see the situation, but generally lying to get benefit, right? To cheat people, out of greed, bad intention, that is bad karma lah. But there are certain instances, but like this case, this monk, so no, he went off the other way. So all the bad people who wanted to kill this poor innocent victim one, so they ran away. They ran in another direction. So the poor victim who went into the cave was safe lah. So you see, so this fish also got no choice but to cook up a story lah, right? So you understand. But now don't say, oh, now I cannot tell lies. No, generally cannot. Only very special situations only. Special. You have good intention. You are compassionate. You want to save somebody. All right. So this one he has to save himself. Otherwise he will die. You see? So he has to cook up a story. So now let us go on to the third one. Now we are going to have a longer discussion on some Dharma principles. You see, it's very important in any religion also. Right? It's very important that we must not do bad things, evil things. But then you ask, how do we know whether the thing that we are going to do is good or bad? Then you follow this principle. Very important is never carry out actions or never do things that can hurt another living being or that can harm another living being or that can kill another human being. And you can do these bad things through your mind by thinking evil thoughts. Wow, I want to steal the melons, mangoes, and so on by the bad thoughts. And then after that, and then another way is by the wrong speech. Right? For example, you scold and curse another person, and the person, wow, the heart is hurt so much. He feels so sad because you have scolded the person with all the terrible bad words and so on. Then he's using your speech to hurt another being, so that action is not good. And this one actually related to everything starts with the mind. The people very, very angry because got information, wrong information, also listen to gossip and rumors, so thinking this person is the one that is bad. So scold and curse and all those stuff. So mind, speech. And the third thing is through the body. Through the bodily actions, you can harm other living beings. Basically, three most important things which you should take note of and must never do. One is killing. You must never kill another being. If somebody were to kill you or kill any member of family, how would you feel? You would also feel terrible, isn't it? You suffer, isn't it? So killing is definitely not condoned, not allowed. It creates bad karma. So then the second thing is stealing. Just as you would not want people to steal your possessions and your things, so likewise you must not steal other people's things. You cannot take things that are not given to you, because people will feel terrible, isn't it? Let's say you take his things, and not only actually you intend to steal, sometimes you take without permission, but you think you want to return later, but you never return. So that person looking for that thing, wasting the effort and the time, and will feel terrible, isn't it? So you have done a wrong action. So it's very simple to think out, the thing that I do, is it causing another person to be unhappy, to feel hurt, and suffer or not? So that is a bad thing. And I told you in terms of body, no killing, no stealing. And the third one is sexual misconduct. Especially people who are married already and then still cari other people's wives, other people's husbands, that sort of thing. Or even raping or raping girls and so on, or women. So those are harming. Those actions harm other beings. They feel terrible, isn't it? So these actions are not good. So you should not do them. So in terms of the speech, actually there are four aspects. One is not lying, because in most cases people lie because they are greedy, they want to have more things, or they want to cheat you. Of course, if you are cheated, you feel terrible, so it's harming. So lying generally also is a moral precept. Lying, do not lie. Just now I told you some exceptional cases where you have good intention to save another person or to save your life, no choice already, right? Then you tell a white lie or things like that. But generally, no lying. And then no slander. Slander means you talk bad about other people. You cause two groups of people to quarrel by carrying tales. No? You tell this person, yeah, this girl talk so much bad about you, no, terrible. And then when you tell this girl, say that, oh, the other one talks bad about you, everything. And then these two quarrel. That is also a wrong, unwholesome action that has bad karma. And the third one is to use harsh speech, foul language, right? Rough language. I've seen some people very careless. They use bad words, and then other people here already, they don't feel nice. It's terrible, isn't it? You use bad words and all those stuff. So there's harsh speech, foul language. I have seen some students are happy they do this, but then they cause people to feel very uneasy. That is not good. So that's the third one. And the fourth one is gossip. Dia cakap banyak. Not true also, simply say this and say that, and then spread rumors, all this, wasting the time, frivolous speech. So these are the four things of the mouth, three things of the body. And the mind one, actually, you find the thoughts of greed, the thoughts of cruelty, angry thoughts, hateful thoughts, thoughts of ego, thoughts of revenge. All those are, because if you don't check all those terrible thoughts in the mind, they can translate into your speech, come out in the speech, and then also in your action. Like, for example, you have the thought, you want to take revenge on this person, want to kill the fella, you start with the thought, and then after that, you go and do something terrible. You use a knife and you poke the fella's heart. So in relation to this, I want to mention this. This is in the Buddha's teaching. In the Buddha's teaching, it tells us that we should not pursue or we should not have hobbies or jobs that harm. The principle is like this also, that harm other living beings, right? That harm other beings. Now, for example, hobbies. Some young ones, they like to go and fish. Use the hook. Imagine the fish being caught by the hook. Actually, they just want to have fun, they feel, wow, very nice at that. So Buddhist teachings don't encourage this type of hobby, right? This type of hobby. They actually go to fish, not so much that you want to earn a living, but they want to feel nice. Wow, you see the fish struggling, and then the fish throat, hook, kena the hook, everything, it's very painful, isn't it? Imagine if you were to be hooked at the throat by a hook, people fish you, you also wouldn't want. So we don't encourage the hobby. There are so many good hobbies, right? Play games, collect items like stamps and so on, or even listening to songs, learning music. So many good hobbies, right? And then some go cycling, or traveling, they like reading, very good, or even painting. So many, 1,001 good hobbies. So why must you have the hobby of hurting another being? When I was young, I also saw some of my friends, right? Probably primary children. I never do that. I find it's terrible. They would catch, some of the small insects like butterflies, and then they pull off the legs, and pull off the wing, and then see what happens. That sort of thing is terrible. You are causing pain and suffering to other living beings. So never do these sort of things. And adults, who go hunting. Also, Buddhist teachings tell us that hunting is not good. You go hunting to get the thrill, to get, very exciting. Those days they use bow and arrows and the spears, but now people use guns. They go and kill. Very exciting. Kanchong. Chicken or what? Thrilling. But then imagine if you were being hunted, you feel terrible, isn't it? People hunt you, and then you just imagine the situation. Let us say, this particular person, he goes to the jungle, then he hunts all sorts of animals, wild boar lah, monkeys lah, squirrels lah, wild birds lah, all sorts. Let's say there is a wild boar or a monkey or what, and that person uses the gun and kills that mother monkey and so on. Imagine how would the children feel? It's terrible, isn't it? The children losing the mother because the this hunter, wow, people say exciting, I can kill, so accurate. So in the Buddhist context, anything that you do that harms, that cause pain, that kills another living thing, and usually is for your own fun, for your own pleasure, that is considered unwholesome. So in the Buddhist context, certain jobs are not encouraged. They are not encouraged because, of course, some you say you have no choice. I born into that family. I have to rear the pigs, right? To keep the pigs and rear them. After that, sell the pigs to be slaughtered. So in the Buddhist context, there are certain jobs we don't encourage. If possible, you can change the jobs. Right? One is when rear animals, wow, and then after that, these animals will be sold to be killed, right? Even so that is this one. Then another one is you are involved in a job that makes a lot of weapons, Wow, not nowadays, people make so much money, like in certain Western countries, they produce bombs, guns, and all sorts of terrible weapons, which are used for wars and so on. So if you are involved in that type of job, it's considered not right livelihood, right? In the Buddhist teaching, not right livelihood. So that means trading in weapons, right? Like guns and so on, or bombs and so on. And the third one is that you are involved in abducting people and then selling the people, making the people slaves. Last time you have slaves, right? But today also you have this thing, they go and catch they cheat and they traffic in human beings, lure the young girls and so on, and then go and buy them, and then sell them again to do the immoral action, like to become prostitute and so on. And then some, as I told you just now, so they are luring, cheating people and then scam them, con them. This one also trading in the people, that is a wrong action. So that's the third one. Then the fourth one is if you are dealing with a job that pertains to the sale of drugs, alcohol. This one also not good because the alcohol can cause a lot of harm. Apart from the diseases, they can cause lung cancer or maybe liver cancer and all this one. And then you make you mabuk. And then when the person is mabuk, intoxicated already, can do a lot of wrong. So that is considered also not right livelihood. That means to be involved in the either production or the sale of this sort of chemicals like alcohol and poisons. But you say, even other people do, they want to earn a living well, they don't believe this, right? Isn't it? They want to get money also. So anyway, this is what is being taught, that if you, out of compassion and so on, then you can do other jobs which can bring a lot of benefits. So many jobs. Even you can be a policeman, you can be a teacher, you can be a doctor, a lawyer, you can be a clerk, you can be a factory worker, right? You can be a taxi driver. There are thousands and thousands of okay jobs, but these are the five. I told you four already, right? So then there's one more, producing all those chemicals that can kill, poisons, poison and chemical. So these are the five types of livelihood that are considered wrong livelihood. So you can see that if we think carefully, we have compassion for other beings, not only for other human beings, also for the animals. So you find that the basis is like this. the very important principle, never carry out or never do any action that brings harm, hurt to other living beings. And including killing is the worst already. Torturing. Today also you have, you hear of some people torturing other people. So that is terrible and it is unwholesome. I've done postings where I've mentioned many times you must avoid the 10 bad actions, unwholesome actions. These 10 unwholesome actions, 3 of them pertain to the mind. So what are the things that pertain to the mind? Greed, right? Attachment, and then covetousness. Anything to do with the greed one, the state of the mind is not good. Then the second one is any thoughts that have anger, ill will, hatred, aversion, not good. And the third one, delusion, not knowing what is the correct thing to do, what is the wise thing to do, ignorant of the way of the laws of nature. All this is what we call all having wrong beliefs. Some people have the wrong belief, like delusion, for example, they when kill the animals, maybe chicken, ducks, or even pigs, and so on. What is the reason? They want to pray to the God, to make the God happy so that the God can give them what they call. That is delusion already. The gods don't really require this also if the gods up in heaven that you are praying to. So this is a wrong belief, deluded. A lot of superstitious things. So these are the 3 things, greed, hatred, delusion in the mind. Then the speech, as I mentioned already, 4, remember? Lying, slander, harsh speech, and gossip. And then 3 of the body, which is no killing, no stealing, and no sexual misconduct. So 3, 4, 3. 3 of the mind, 4 of the speech, and 3 of the body. Altogether 10. You avoid these 10 actions, everything, life will be more peaceful, happy for you. And future births will be good. You'll be reborn in the heavens, or maybe come back as blessed human beings. Otherwise, most of people may be propelled to the suffering state. Animal realm or ghost realm or hell and so on, because they do the wrong actions, opposite of this wholesome one. So now I've given you quite a lot of Dharma because this is actually the most important thing. So now I have covered the 3 important sets of, you can say, life lessons, Dharma lessons. Then now we go on to the last slide already. This slide, so if you see, if we live our life righteously, righteously means we don't do anything that is wrong, morally wrong, and wisely. With the wisdom, you don't do anything that hurts other people or harm other people. That means we live a life that is righteous, morally good, and also with wisdom. Then you don't have to wait until next life. This life itself, you find that you will have a life that is more safe and secure. And then you'll be more peaceful. You'll be happy, you can sleep peacefully. You will do all those wrong things, you don't have the moral good, you commit the wrong, immoral things, which also are criminal action. Once you are caught, imagine you can and spend how many years in the jail, isn't it? Terrible. So how can you be peaceful? So you see, if you follow basically the precepts, the moral precepts, then life will be so much peaceful, more peaceful, so much better. So you can see how important. So you see the Malay lines also, you can understand clearly. Apabila kita hidup dengan benar, that means with the truthful, in truth, the correct ways, and then bijaksana, the wisdom, then you feel more safe, selamat, aman, peaceful, and then more happy. So this is a very important principle that you have to understand. So I've covered a lot of Dhamma points. The story is very, very simple and short, but I'm more keen to convey to you the Dhamma. So remember that. So the last aspiration. May you be well and happy. Semoga sehat dan bahagia. So now, before we say sadhu 3 times, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all you boys and girls, students of the Buddhist Sunday School, and also parents and grandparents who may be following this, and all the teachers. So I say thank you and sadhu to all of you. You have taken time to follow this presentation and also have expended use energy to concentrate and listen to this more than an hour of Dhamma discussion also in Dhamma. So thank you and sadhu. So now let us hold our palms together and say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. To all of you who have been following this presentation, may you all be well, happy, and peaceful, and may you always live by the Dhamma, which means follow the Dhamma teachings, right? Take care.